Negeri Sembilan Traditional House is located at Kampung Marwah Sri Menanti. Negeri Sembilan Traditional House is belonging to the four people of Istana Sri Menanti and now is belonging to Dato Raja Diwangsa Muhammad Ibn Shaba, or affectionately called Tok Tun Su by the village people. He was from suku Batu Hampa, who owned the privilege to the two position four people of Istana Sri Menanti, that is Datuk Sri Ahmad Diraja and Datuk Raja Diwangsa.
Dia pembesar di istana, tapi dia sebenarnya dia tak ada darah diraja. Cuma dia ada pangkat lah, dan rumah ni menunjukkan status dia lah sebagai pembesar tersebut, dan ada ciri-ciri di dalam rumah ni yang menunjukkan dia sebagai pembesar.
Malay Heritage Museum, or known as Museum Warisan Melayu, is an interesting museum located within the campus of Universiti Putra Malaysia (UPM) at Serdang, Selangor. The museum, which was opened on April 2012, showcased the unique culture of Malay people and contains a valuable collection of items, some of which is not seen in other museums. His house was donated to Universiti Putra Malaysia (UPM) in March 2013 by Darusha Muhammad Yunus, the successor of Tok Tun Su, to be restored and preserved. The man behind the restoration and transportation is Prof. Dr. Muhammad Fauzi Abdul Latif, a lecturer in communication at Universiti Putra Malaysia (UPM).
The first architectural style of Negeri Sembilan traditional house is the Minangkabau culture and architecture. The characteristics of Negeri Sembilan traditional house architectural style has shaped the identity of the Minangkabau community as a whole. Symbolism and aesthetics value create significant forms that symbolizing the community's identity and culture in the olden days. However, the customs practiced by the Minangkabau society in Negeri Sembilan is known as the Adat Pepatih, named after the founder Dato Pepatih from Western Sumatra. In addition, the long sloping roof design with both ends of the roof rising slightly has become an architectural identity in Negeri Sembilan. Next is the roof style. The uniqueness of the Negeri Sembilan traditional house compared to the other traditional houses is the sloping style. Negeri Sembilan traditional Malay houses have a long roof, which is a type that has a ridge that extends from left to right that is parallel to the road or river. The evolution of the Negeri Sembilan traditional house can be seen on its slightly sloping roof. The design of Negeri Sembilan houses has a multi-story roof between the roof of the Rumah Ibu and the Serambis roof. The evolution of the roof has changed from time to time, influenced by the elements of Malay ethnic culture according to district or region. The third one is the material. Negeri Sembilan traditional house is built using local natural resources such as cengau and meranti for the main structure.
Detail kayu-kayu tu semua memang yang asal.
Kita ambil material yang sama lah, meranti untuk dia punya lantai biasanya akan guna cengal lah. Cengal dan meranti. Cengal biasanya diguna untuk tiang.
These natural materials contribute to low impact on the environment. Furthermore, the material is accessible and requires minimal effort to obtain. The column of Rumah Negeri Sembilan has their own uniqueness, such as this noble house has 6 uniquely shaped pillars that is called tiang gantung tak jejak bumi that supports the roof of the house and are connected to sail-like gable ends named Tebalaya bertingkat 3 and Tebalaya mentari terbit pagi that sits on the right and left side of the house and at the main entrance.
Ini adalah tiang seri untuk rumah Negeri Sembilan ini. Dikatakan ada shilling atau perak yang mempunyai tarikh sebelum dia dibina.
Sewaktu kita tuan rumah mulia-mulia naikkan rumah ni, dia ada letak shilling perak lah. Yang itu sebagai semangat pada rumah ni, dan dia masuk ke tadi dengan semangat. So dia letak shilling di dalam pasak tu, dalam base kayu ni lah. Maksudnya dia letak shilling perak tu. Jadi bila kita bina semula, kita letak pula duit shilling bertaring tahun kita bina. Dalam dia punya pasak juga, dalam dia punya base.
So ada 2 shilling.
Betul. Yang asal kita letak semula, lepas tu yang baru tahun pembinaan semula kita letak juga duit shilling.
Mengapa amalan itu masih diletakkan shilling sebelum dibina?
untuk mengelakkan kok ada benda, sebab kita tak nafikan orang dulu dia ada semangat dia. Tak mustahil semangat tu dia letak duduk shilling tu. Jadi kita letak semula lah. Kita tak nak ada masalah di kemudian hari.
Next, Negeri Sembilan traditional house consists of several ornamentation. All this ornamentation is from different elements of flora and fauna, and various types are also to show the art of the owner. This motif also serve as a van as well.
Sebenarnya motif-motif ni adalah untuk pengudaraan jugalah, sebab orang dulu dia tak ada kipas. Jadi dia nak buat lubang-lubang untuk angin tu masuk. Dia akhirnya dia ambil unsur geometri, yang ni flora dan fauna. Okay, dia serapkan di rumah ni dengan ni lah.
In old days, there were no fans to help with ventilation, so they would hold as many vents as possible to keep the ventilation flow going well. Lastly, Negeri Sembilan traditional house consists of two sail-like gable ends named tebalaya bertingkat 3 and tebalaya mentari terbit pagi that is connected to tiang gantung tak jejak bumi that supports the roof of the house. According to Nakula, the arrival of the sail on the Malay house symbolized Nur Muhammad and all the realms that happened from him, while the real world is contained in Nur Muhammad and the essence of Allah is all-encompassing. Arriving on the screen is a more specific symbol of Allah and Muhammad. Although the screen is not written with letters, it still carries the same meaning in the form of symbolism.
Rumah ni dia masuk-masuk dia tersendiri. Tebalaya dia tebalaya tiga ni lah. Tiga peringkat. So kalau orang dulu untuk rumah ni konsep dia, tebalaya dia akan menghadap ke kiblat. Pada asalnya, tapi bila bawa ke sini tak ikutlah sebab ruang ni terhad. So kenapa orang dulu buat tebalaya? Orang dulu kalau dia nak tumpah solat dia akan tengok tiang layar, tebalaya dia je.
For the structural frame, first and foremost, a traditional Malay house will start with tiang seri of the house. Tiang seri is the first column that will be put up first. This tiang seri is placed at ruang ibu. Therefore, 12 columns were set up for ruang ibu to be constructed first. Since the columns are from kayu cengal, the use of high concrete footing to protect the wood from termites and for structural integrity. Next, when all of the columns were constructed, lanta, which is the temporary floor beams, will be slotted in some columns by the use of wedges, which is pasak. Then, raso is slotted in for horizontal load transfer. Then, gelegar and lantai will be placed subsequently. The function of timber floor panels is to overcome life and dead load of the house. As for the second floor, which is the loteng, when the wall plate is placed around the column and wall, floor joist is placed on top with 300mm spacing. Then, timber floor blocks are placed on top as floor finish, then subsequent columns are stacked on top of the first columns. Then, wall panels are constructed with louvers and windows around the perimeter of the space for ventilation. As for the wall panels, as the coverings, uses Meranti timber hardwood arranged in an 45-degree angled placement with wall studs as structural framing. Then, openings were constructed with kakisi crafted with flora carvings at every window for safety and as wind penetration as the windows were designed from floor to wall height. Last but not least, for the roof structure, on the first floor, kasau jantan, which is the rafter, is constructed with cutouts for kasau betina, which is the purlins, to rest on it. Then, tulang perabong is to connect the rafters for structural stability. Next, for every intersection connection for the rafters, a vertical member of tiang gantung is constructed. Then, roof finishes are placed on top of kasau betina. The construction method for the roof on the second floor differs slightly on the method of tunjuk langit placed in connecting the rafters, which is the kasau jantan.
Okay, bila kita bawa ke sini, fungsi asal dia memanglah rumah keluarga. Tapi bila dah bawa ke sini, dia akan jadi fungsi untuk pelawat. Jadi untuk pelawat masak memang kita kena pakukan lah supaya dia tutup sikit lah untuk pelawat. Kalau kita tengok, ni contoh dia dah masak ada tanggang masak tanggang.
For this particular house of Negeri Sembilan, a few primary spaces were removed due to restriction of space on the site of Museum Warisan Melayu UPM. Therefore, the main spaces that are left to build within the house are Serambi, Rumah Ibu, and Loteng. We'll discuss further on the next slide. Firstly, the louvers are designed and placed everywhere on the house exterior, especially on the loteng. This will allow cross-ventilation and stack effect to cool the interior spaces. Next is salir angin. Salir angin are mostly placed above the window that allow wind penetration within the spaces, while at the same time giving the aesthetic value to the house facade. Lastly, the raised floor of the house allow the wind movement to cool the interior floors. Coming back to Rumah Negeri Sembilan's partial quality, Serambi is a space used to welcome the visitors, a space for discussion, and a resting place. This space is usually located right after the entrance door, and if any activities or happenings takes place within the space, it can be seen by curious outsiders. Since this particular house was owned by Dato Raja Diwangsa Muhammad Yunus bin Jabar, one of the Orang Empat Istana Menanti, this space is always filled with people for discussion purposes. In terms of public-private contacts, Serambi is a semi-enclosed space where most discussion are suitable to be done in private. Moving on to Rumah Ibu. This space is located near the Serambi where most domestic activities are taken place. As mentioned earlier, some spaces were deducted during the house preservation. With that, this space is used for the kitchen as well, since it is the biggest space among all spaces, and it is connected to the back door and also a staircase to the loteng. There are some interesting elements found in this space, which is the selang floors that were used to bathe corpses and also washing dishes. The last main space to discuss is the one and only the loteng. This space is at the second floor where the staircase is connected from Rumah Ibu. As stated in the interview, this place is explained to be a separated space specifically for girls to do any activities they want freely.
Seperti yang malam tadi ni memang bilik untuk wanita lah, dan cumanya ada kata rumah tu diserang, lelaki akan protect rumah dulu. Jadi lelaki akan ke depan, wanita dia duduk dalam bilik ni, dia boleh lari lagi lah. Maksudnya dia ada tingkap-tingkap rumah dulu, dia akan ada pokok, dia boleh lari keluar dulu lah. Maksudnya lelaki
ini pun digunakan untuk
ada fungsi dia. Untuk kiri keselamatan lah maksud dia. Selain tu dia memang untuk bilik wanita lah, bagi ada privacy.
Traditional Malay house is a remarkable beauty of Malaysia's heritage and identity. It is a sophisticated and well thought of design and planning in consideration of religion, culture and climate. The aspiration and ideas evolving from the past to adapt a modern spatial quality may differ from the actual intention of a dwelling that revolved around cultural and climatic aspects. The modern era has made Malaysia lost its actual essence of identity through decolonization from the West. We, as Malaysia's citizens, should care, and it is our duty to preserve and appreciate the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors in creating a dwelling design that caters to all aspects of living. Therefore, the idea and act of measured drawing gives countless benefits for the preservation of Malaysia's true identity. Negeri Sembilan traditional house has many elements in design considerations such as in culture, religion and climate aspect. The houses in Negeri Sembilan define the rich culture of Minangkabau people. we were blessed with the existence of Malaysia's traditional houses. The exposure given to us from the knowledge through research papers, site visit and lecturers' guidance made us as Malaysia's proud citizen to appreciate our country's heritage. The benefits we absorb from the site visit really helps us to understand the beauty of modular construction method, especially on assembling and dismantling when relocate to a new location, plus the spatial quality on assimilating cultural activities of Minangkabau people.